your culture will power your mission.
Exactly. Are you ready to take this role? I think that relies on you.
Welcome to the Destination Workplace Show, a podcast that inspires CEOs, real estate, workplace, and HR leaders to create meaningful and purposeful employee experiences inside and outside of the office. My name is Nelly Hyatt, and I'm a work futurist. And I'm sitting down with leaders to talk about the future of the workplace, their vision and ambition for the next generation of employees, and how to have an impact.
I'm David, and David Hanrahan. I run what we call Breitling Experience team at Eventbrite. So I'm the CHRO. It's all HR and recruiting. My background, I've been doing this type of work at places like Twitter and Zendesk and Niantic. Running HR functions has been what I've been doing, and been doing this work for like 20 years. So,
have you been able to go to an office since it's reopened?
Yeah, I actually was just at our Nashville office, and because it reopened, and I was there a couple of weeks ago, and that was cool. It was like, it felt like the first day of school.
Exactly.
At the same time, it dawned on me when I was there. I remember being there, and because I was there in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I was kind of sitting there and thinking I don't really need to be here. There was a mode, before the pandemic where work happened at the office. So you're 9 to 5, right? I wake up, I go, that's where work is happening. 97% of our employees worked from the office before the pandemic. And so you were wired to associate work happening there. When you left, you closed your laptop, maybe you looked at your phone on the train or something like that, but you're largely, I'm putting it away, And those were sort of habits that we had. And then, so now when I was back in the office, I just realizing I just don't need to be here. And you have to rethink what an office is. That's not where work happens. Work happens wherever you open your laptop.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be experiencing that, where they go back good, I'm back. We're back to the office. And then it's kind of like, hey, we're not going back. There's nothing that we're going back to. It's something new, and you just have to think about an office as fundamentally different in this new mode.
And that's exactly what I kept on saying, which is on day one, you're gonna have 80% of your employees or 70% who are gonna be super happy to be there. On day 3, there will be no one. If you haven't made the changes in the design of your offices, if you haven't incorporated some community managers internally who continue pushing programs and events, if you haven't thought about what are the key activities we do in the office. So there's many things we can do to prevent that third day to be completely empty. But in my ideal vision of the future, we're going to have Monday in the office without a laptop together to transition into the week. Maybe doing some yoga, waking up the spine. Maybe in the weekend we were a little unhealthy or off balance. We can wake up the spine together. We do some yoga. We remember what is the mission. What are we doing here? Maybe we have some fun together to transition into maybe work mode. Then I can see Tuesday, Wednesday being work from home, very intense. Thursday being the social day. Again, you come to the office, there's no laptop, and maybe that's the day of you go into the brainstorming quarters, or you go into the learning and hub center, or you go into the nourishing. You need to disconnect. This week has been very crazy. You need to disconnect, so you do a meditation. You maybe think about the future. You are being inspired by art, and then Friday maybe work from home. And say again, you close. You do a write-up of what you've done this week, what you expect to do the next week. You send it to their team. And so they're going to use the office for that. Time to be together, a time to be inspired, a time to learn, a time to brainstorm. And it will be catered around the week differently.
Yeah, I like that. While flexibility and choice is certainly powerful, people we're also creatures of habit.
Exactly.
And, we want a routine, right? I wake up, I brush my teeth, I have breakfast, whatever. I fall into a routine, and when when I'm kind of in my routine, that's when I'm like, I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm feeling good. I can be productive.
Yeah.
And so, like there's these, like workout paths at parks, it's like, okay, here's the sort of the pull-up bar. Then you do the sit-ups and like the sit-up bar over here. And like, maybe to your point, like we can create tracks for people where like Mondays,
Exactly.
Monday's the in-office day, or Wednesday is the community day, and Thursday is the, and people can follow that optionally, but they can follow it as a way to also see others on their workout path, right? Like I'm working out with you, or I'm working with you.
Yeah.
And that could help with people just innovating, being productive, whatever.
Exactly. And creator of habit, we also creator of tribe and community. So we follow what our peers are doing. For me, this future is super bright. Like I'm like, if the work week looks like this, like it's gonna be a lot more than what we had before. There was so many dead moments before.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, totally. I think we can have a lot more vital.
Exactly.
So yeah.
As part of your role, what are the 3 or 4 components that had to be revamped or rethought to accommodate for the future of work?
Gosh, well, leadership development and kind of what is the right way to lead in a company and in a world that's going through so much change. So what's the first thing that you should do and master as a leader? We thought it was empathy and understanding your team, like what's going on in their lives. As an example, like, well, how do you actually really build empathy? Like, what's a practice that you like? How do I train you on that? And we came up with this question called "How are you really doing?" And it was a simple thing, but like, when we start one-on-ones or, hey, how you doing, Nelly? Like, doing good. Okay. And then we go on, but like, no, how are you really doing? And to try and get people to actually open up and sit there and be comfortable with people sort of like, well, my childcare, fell apart, this week, and I'm really super stressed. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. Like, let me hear it. So leadership development is a big one. And, I think about our sort of work-life balance sensibilities and what our company policies are and what we want people to do to just be optimally healthy is something you got to reimagine. And so that's another one. And I think a big one for us has been diversity, rethinking our approach to diversity and how we're building diverse teams. We're a company that our creators and consumers, they're starting to bring live events back. And they're very different, what their needs are, their backgrounds, their ethnicities, their languages, everything. And the more that we model them as a company, the better that we're going to serve them. So those are 3 that stand out.
I think those are 3 very critical elements that I think I really appreciate, because that's very much what we talk about in the thought leadership of the future of work, which is how do we mirror our user base with the same diversity internally, so there's an alignment and we can even better understand our users, and we can be even more innovative internally, because we know that diversity of opinion, of thought, of culture, of background really bring this richness of thought, and then that is translated into products. And yeah, you talk about something also very interesting, which is our leaders, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, if they are able to win it through, but a lot of the new future relies on their shoulders. Like they are going to be either the enablers of that new future or the gatekeepers. And it's a lot to ask on managers, on leaders, on executive leaders also. How you approaching empowering them?
There are a lot of companies that are coming up with really interesting practices, and we're just being a sponge. And the playbook is emerging from those conversations, and and we're iterating, we're experimenting. Some things are working, some things are not working.
David, it was such an amazing conversation. I wish we could go for another hour.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure.